Chinese artist Ai Weiwei said, "An artist must also be an activist, aesthetically, morally, or philosophically. That doesn't mean that they have to demonstrate in street protests, but rather deal with these issues through so-called artistic language. Without that kind of consciousness to be blind to human struggle, one cannot simply be called an artist." So the reason I'm bringing that up right now is to segue into what I'm talking about today. This is the unofficial geek channel. My name is Carrie Quinn, and this is Carrie Reads the Bronze Age, and this is Green Lantern number 76. Let's see here. I'm gonna make myself just a little bit bigger here. Yeah, so this is Carrie Reads the Bronze Age. This is Green Lantern number 76 from 1970, right at the beginning of that Bronze Age time period. Let me give you the lowdown on who this is, the creators and that kind of thing. We have a writer, Dennis O'Neil, pencilers, Neil Adams, inker, Neil Adams, the cover done by, which you see right now on your screen, is Neil Adams and Jack Adler. So this is one of those type of situations where you have we have a society right now where, especially in comic books and in pop culture, geek culture, where you have a lot of people that seem to have a problem with the idea of writers and artists virtue signaling. And the if you're not familiar, the phrase virtue signaling is referring to when an artist or a writer or a creator is putting their beliefs in their writing. And that's why I decided to take an artist quote. Ai Weiwei, the artist that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, to tell you a little bit about why someone would view this whole situation as a kind of a non-issue. Of course, art, writing, music would involve somebody using it as a platform for their belief structure. And that's kind of why I went ahead and chose. I thought about a couple different books that I could talk about to start off the whole Carrie Reads the Bronze Age time period. And I went ahead and I chose this one. This is at 1970, like I mentioned, 1970, released on April 1st, 1970. It's Green Lantern number 76, also co-starring Green Arrow. And I thought that was always strange too, like how they had this Green Lantern co-starring Green Arrow, but it's billed as Green Lantern number 76. Because this is 1970. We're still in the middle of the civil rights movement. We are in the middle of the sexual revolution as well. We're still in Vietnam. You know, all these things are a part of the overall experience of being an American, basically. And that's kind of what we're getting at here with this book, and what I really loved about it is that it kind of really did um jump in and give us a little bit of that whole like, guys, this was happening back in 1970. So for somebody right here, this is an example of a book that honestly, y'all, this is the kind of thing that you want to look at when people are saying things like that and be like, here, I understand where you might be upset, but this is exactly why you are incorrect. That activism has been, at least back in 1970, okay, has been a part of comic books, and so-called virtual virtue signaling has been a part of comic books for all this time. And this is an absolute perfect example um, of that idea. And I I actually really enjoyed reading this book. Hal Jordan seems very just thinking of the two main characters in this book, aside from everything else. So you have Hal Jordan, which seems very like he seems like he has a very black and white um idea of what good and bad is, um what evil and good is. Um and you have a situation where he's very naive to this, but then you have Green Arrow coming along and being like, yeah, you know what, you buffoon, you don't have all the answers. And um yeah, this is it's right here, folks. Like, here we go. We're gonna talk a little bit. Like I said, this is Carrie reads the Bronze Age. Welcome. Um, if I haven't mentioned it before, I've been doing this where I've been reading something from the Golden Age, something from the Silver Age, and now I'm going to talk about this book that I read from the Bronze Age. Um, and I'm let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's dive in. This is of course the cover of Green Lantern number 76, co-starring Green Arrow. Um yeah, let's go into it. So this is basically the first page of the Green Arrow, excuse me, Green Lantern number 76. And you know, I like doing these dramatic readings, so here we go. I'm gonna do it for you this time too. Um, and yeah, let's do this. For years he has been a proud man. He has worn the power ring of the Guardians and used it well and never doubted its righteousness of his cause. In the next dozen seconds, an event will occur which will signal the end of his grandeur and the beginning of a long torment. There will be no happy ending, for this is not a happy tale, nor a simple one. But what you are about to witness is perhaps inevitable. His name, of course, is Green Lantern, and often he has vowed that no evil shall escape my sight. He has been fooling himself. Um, so first, I'm gonna like tell you guys right now, okay? Yes, there's some very like heavy stuff in this book for comic books. Um, it's getting a little like I'm gonna tell you right now, it's getting a little bit over dramatic. I by the time I was done reading this, I did see a little bit of hope. I had a little bit of a hope. Um, And it really kind of makes it seem like by the end of the book, you're not going to have any kind of a hope or or happy or traditional happy ending does not happen here. But that's okay because this is deeper than just having all of the T's crossed and the I's dotted by the end of the book, because this is a lot deeper than all of that. Um, so yeah, we've got Hal Jordan here. He is just, whoop whoop whooping through the city streets. And what happens is oh, it's a little bit soon to go there. Okay. What happens is Hal Jordan sees a guy kind of roughing about this, other dude, and he comes in and he stops it, and he sends the one what looks like to him is the aggressor to the police precinct. And when all that's over, the one guy's like, "Thank you for helping me so much." All these thugs and everything like that. Nobody really, uh, um nobody really like gives in to authority anymore, that kind of thing, right? And right away you're just if you're like me, you're sitting there and you're like, "Oh my God, hell, you're about ready to eat it, aren't you? Aren't you, buddy? You're about ready to really just this is not going to go well for you, Hal, because this guy is totally he's a dweeb, okay? This guy that you just saved is a dweeb, and you're about ready to find out about it. This is this is predictable, but it's predictable in a good way. You're like, okay, good. So I'm the kind of person that can see this and understand what's about to happen. Um, and I'm fine with that. I'm pretty good with that because it says something about me, I think, to know that this is just a big old dweeb. And yeah, yeah. So when all this goes down and the guy walks away and the dweeb, um Green Arrow is like, "You dork. Okay, here's what you don't know." And when he's sitting there, he's like, "Look, not everything is just black and white. Not everything is just as you see it, because there's things that you don't see. There's things that you don't understand because you don't. You don't, because you're not a part of that experience. You're showing your privilege, basically, is what Green Arrow is saying to Hal Jordan. Like, this is your privilege, dude. You're showing your privilege. And and he doesn't necessarily come out and say it in that way, but yes, it is very much a you're showing your privilege. This is your privilege, dude. This is that, yeah. And he shows off to Hal Jordan, gives them a lot of more information about the situation. And what Hal finds out is this dude is a slumlord that he just defended. And the gentleman that he sent to jail was somebody that is taking care of is it his mother? I'm trying to remember if it's his mother or his grandmother. Like, and they live there. And that the property is being gentrified. Yeah, guys, this is still stuff that we have a housing crisis right now, okay, in this country where you have a lot of gentrification that has happened, but nobody can afford the properties. This is stuff that we talked about in Green Lantern number 76 from 1970. It's right there. Okay. So this is all about, this guy, is saying they're upset because this guy's trying to gentrify the neighborhood and kick all these people out. That while it's not the best building in the world, it's all they can afford. And even then it's not really something they can afford. Um And this is an area of the city this is where people live that can't afford this gentrification that's, properties that are happening. We see it everywhere. If you open your eyes, you can see it. And this is being talked about in 1970, y'all. 1970. And I have to say that you can't look at this and not know. This was this was always the deal. People saying that virtue signaling and all that stuff is just something that's happening right now in comics. No. It happened at least in 1970. And if you want me to, I can find other examples of it um earlier than that. But right here, we have Green Arrow talking to Green Lantern about the dangers of gentrification involving people being able to find affordable housing in 1970. So we have this gentleman here talking about how, Green Lantern, you've helped out the blue skins, you've helped out the orange skins, you've helped out the purple skins, but you know what? You haven't helped me. You're not a hero for me. Um, and he's like, why? I want to know why you're not a hero for me. And Green Lantern's like, man, dude, I suck. um okay, he doesn't actually sit there and say, oh dude, I'm sorry, I suck. He says that he doesn't have a good answer for this dude. He's just like, I want to know how come. There's one person you've never dealt with, is people here, right here, like my people. You've helped everybody else. Why? What's keeping you? It's, do you need an engraved invitation to the party? Okay. And this upsets Green Lantern because he's like, man, I just got, I'm supposed to be, I'm the Green Lantern. I'm Green Lantern. I Dude, it's okay. It's not okay, but it's gonna be okay. All right. Green Lantern, you know what? Here's the thing. Green Lantern, you can do this. You've had this dude point this out to you. He's like, man, dude, you have been sucking. And Green Lantern's like, man, I have been sucking. And it's really interesting that, like, we don't have the panels up here because I don't want to do that, right? So like I don't want to just have you read the entire book on the screen. I'm going to tell you about it, and then hopefully you go back and you read it. So Green Lantern's like, I can't tell you. I can't answer your question, man. I suck. Um, but I want to be better. And she's like, yeah, you go for it. You do that, all right? And he's like, can you tell me how to be better to this black dude in this neighborhood that, you know, you just helped the slumlord dude. It's like, you know what, Green Lantern, here's the thing. And he says this and it's perfect, and it's something that people say today and with good reason. Okay. He's like, you know what? I'm not here to teach you how to be better, but you know what? Why don't you try to figure it out? You're probably capable of figuring out how to be a better person, how to be a better Green Lantern. Okay. You got this, dude. You just gotta, put the mind to the grindstone, head to the grindstone. You got this. You can figure it out. And so Hal Jordan is like, yeah, yeah, I could definitely figure this out. You know what I'm gonna start? You know where I'm gonna start? I'm gonna start with dude. I'm gonna start with dude. I'm gonna try to convince your landlord not to sell the property and make a hefty little profit and let you guys continue to live where you're living, where, it sucks, but it's home kind of thing. And so he ends up kind of strong arming this landlord and the landlord's people. And man, Oa's like whew, the Galactic Guardians, for some reason, they they are not privy to what Green Arrow has now taught Green Lantern about the ways of the world involving gentrification. And they're pissed because they think that the Green Lantern has attacked someone um, that doesn't deserve it. Well, Green Lantern basically goes back to Oa with his tail between his legs. Oh, we're not ready for that yet. His tail between his legs, like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And they're like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna make you go and deal with some meteors that are headed towards Saturn's rings, and you're just gonna have to chill out there until we want you to do something else. Like, really jerky stuff coming from the Guardians, right? And so he's like, okay, I'm so sorry. And they're like, we don't want to hear it. We don't care. We're the Guardians and we don't care. We suck even worse than you do. And so the so he goes and he takes care of the business and he's left there to think about it. And you know what Hal Jordan thinks about it? Hal Jordan thinks it's screwy that they don't get this. So he decides he's gonna, I know they told me to sit here and wait until they wanted me again. But you know what? Screw them. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try to do some good. Screw them. Rock on, Green Lantern. You're starting to get it. You're starting to get it. You notice that something needs to happen and you're gonna go do the good thing, right? So Green Lantern hooks up with Green Arrow, who's also been trying to get something on this slum landlord, right? To like get something on him to get him in trouble. And it's not working out very well for either one of them. And eventually they figure out what they can do and they bring someone in to listen to him talk about all of his nefarious plans. This is the landlord here, right? And I think it's really funny because the landlord's like, I'll just, this grenade and everything and just blow everything up, man. Right? And it's really funny because the Green Lantern is just like, well, let's see here. Throws it out the window, flicks it with the, Green Lantern, energy, flicks it, right? And it goes boom, right? Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning. That's rude. Um, flicks it, it goes boom outside the window. And he's like, well, I'll be darned. He wasn't bluffing. Uh, and all I could think about when I was reading that was my dad. Well, I'll be darned he wasn't bluffing. No, that's not exactly what Papa would, Papa Quinn would say. Well, I'll be goddamned. That actually happened. Well, I'll be goddamned. That's basically the Boy Scout version. I'll be darned. He wasn't bluffing. But like that's basically the Boy Scout version of the Papa Quinn, which is like, I'll be goddamned. Um, I'll be goddamned. He wasn't shitting us. Oh man, I kill me. Please, I hope you all are laughing when I talk about especially it's like the Disney Channel. I'll be darned he wasn't bluffing. It's like the Disney Channel version. I'll be goddamn he wasn't fucking kidding. Um So, the district attorney and all that, is going to take this guy in and everything is going to be a-okay. But the problem is the Guardians are still pissed, right? So they show up and they're like, you are been insubordinate to the Green Arrow or Green Lantern, excuse me. Green Arrow could give a shit less what they think of them. As you will see here. We commanded you to remain on station until we decreed your task completed. And then Green Lantern is like, oh, I'm sorry again. And then Green Arrow lets it rip. Like Ollie does not have time for this. Ollie is like, nobody has time for this here. Okay? Okay. And he goes into like everything happening, and he talks about Martin Luther King Jr. He talks about Robert Kennedy being shot. Robert Kennedy being shot, when he says, on the streets of Memphis a good black man died. In Los Angeles a good white man fell. Something is wrong. Something is killing us all. Some hideous moral cancer is rotting our very souls. And he's really laying into it, and it's like, oh man, like he is just sitting there. He's like, this could be so great, but yet everybody is just screwing up everything. Like screwing up everything. And he somehow gets like the Guardians to be like, okay, you know what? We're gonna go back. I'm gonna tell them what I found out. I'm going to, we're gonna discuss it and then we're gonna figure out what to do. And so this Guardian comes back eventually, not in his big, I'm the, Wizard of Oz type situation like what we got here. I am the great and powerful Oa Guardian, Galactic Guardian. So he comes back in an actual like human form, and what ends up happening is Green Lantern and Green Arrow take the Galactic Guardian out for a good old American road trip so that he can see for himself what's going on. And that's basically that's the end of it. That's the end of it. um and so he talks about, hi, we got Tom jumping up on my lap here. Want to see him? Yeah, this is Tom. We have the hole. I hope you can hear me. Okay, yeah. We have the hole. Do you want to come up here? Want to come up? Okay. we have the whole, sit down, buddy. Good boy. We have the whole, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is Tom. I really hope you can hear me with the microphone. Ooh, okay. So this is Tom. It's one of the cats that lives here. This is this is a kitty. You can see. This is Tom. He insisted on, I had the door closed. He insisted on breaking into the room twice. So I left him here. Anyways, Tom likes Tom, you probably don't want to do that, dude. Those spikes. Um, so yeah, they go, the Guardian goes on a little road trip so that Green Arrow and Green Lantern can show him exactly what's going on in this country at that time. Um, so yeah, that's basically the end of it. So when they say that it's not a happy ending, no, because it brings up, that the problem of gentrification isn't solved. The problem involving, people being shot that are activists in the street, um, that still happens. That still happened. And it still happens today. In various parts of the world, that's happening, not just here. And I think that it's important to see that this was always a part of the medium. Art, the art and activism, the social commentary was always a part of the medium. This is not new. Um, he's so cute. This is not new, and right here you can see it. 1970, Green Lantern, co-starring Green Arrow, and don't get into anything. Okay. But yeah, that guys, that's it. That's that I had originally planned on reading a different Bronze Age comic, and I will probably still read that one. However, I really just thought that it was important to talk about something like this and to show this and just be right out of the gate like this in one of my first few videos like this on the channel, show people this is it was always there. This was always something that happened. This was always, yeah. But anyways, guys, um I had a lot of fun reading this. I'm going to continue doing these. If you have any suggestions about a different Bronze Age comic that I can read, um or another Silver Age comic, or another Golden Age comic. Look at Tom behind me. Yeah, he's a cutie. I know. You can understand though why I would want to close the doors and not have the cats in here, but whatever. But anyways, guys, um this has been the officially unofficial geek channel. Carrie reads the Bronze Age. Thank you for coming with us for Green Lantern number 76 from 1970. Okay, but anyways, guys, let me know in the comments what you thought of this presentation today, what you think of the series that I've been doing so far, of the reading the past comic books, the reading the Golden Age, the Silver Age, Bronze Age. Let me know, like I said, if you have any suggestions about any comics that you think that I should read, and all that for any of those time periods, guys. Any of those time periods will do. But as always, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. And remember, the complacent never make a difference. This has been the officially unofficial geek channel. Carrie reads the Bronze Age. And thank you. Until next time, I'll be seeing ya. Bye-bye.